Hello, and welcome to Section 5 of this course, Measuring Successful Outcomes for Children and Families, Identifying Data Sources. So what do successful outcomes for children and families look like? There are numerous ways of measuring successful outcomes for children and families. One way of simplifying our understanding is to separate data sources and reports by macro and micro. Let's consider the definitions of macro and micro data. So macro data is generally a term used to describe mainly two subtypes of data. So that would be aggregated data and system level data. Micro data can generally be described as individual level data. So these data have often been collected from each individual through a survey or an interview. So for the purposes of this training, we've divided child welfare data sources into macro and micro level data, which essentially parallels with macro and micro practice in social work. So macro level social work practice is concerned with systems, policy, legislation, things that affect a larger number of people. Macro is about the big picture, while micro level social work practice includes working with individual, families, and groups. Similarly, macro level child welfare data refers to that overarching information we have regarding the big picture and outcomes of children and families within the child welfare system. So micro level child welfare data refers to specific information about children and families involved in Wisconsin. The macro level data that will be reviewed consists of the CFSR, the PIP, and the CQI process. CFSR is an acronym for the Children and Family Services Reviews. The PIP stands for Performance Improvement Plan, which is developed based on the results from the CFSR. CQI stands for Continuous Quality Improvement, which is a process in which we evaluate and work to improve the quality of work in child welfare. In this section, we'll learn more about all of these. Micro-level data consists of child welfare dashboards and EWSACWS reports. You will learn more about these later. We want to ensure that you have a foundational understanding of why certain measures or reports are required, as this drives the type of data that you or your staff are required to collect and report on. So we'll provide a brief overview of macro level data. Macro level data identifies trends or federal child welfare practice during a specific time period and helps states to assess their own performance as well as comparing it to the performance of other states. Trends might be seen when comparing the results of reports over a period of years. For this training, we'll be focusing on the CFSR, or the Children and Family Service Review, as a macro data source and how it influences the data that Wisconsin tracks. You will soon learn more about the CFSR, the PIP, and CQI.